John, a question that I've got is what should I do with my required minimum distributions when the market is down or up and down and up and down, and I don't know when to take them? Hi, I'm Bridget Sullivan Mermel. I've got a fee-only financial planning practice in Chicago, Illinois.
And I'm John Shear. I've got a fee-only financial planning practice in Middleton, Wisconsin. And before we jump into that RMD question, I want to remind everybody to hit that subscribe button, click thumbs up, and let other people find this information here on YouTube. And with that, I'm interested in hearing your take on this, Bridget, and maybe just for a little bit of background, make sure we're all talking from the same place here. Is RMD, right? We get into our financial jargon, and it's required minimum distribution. What the rule basically is once you get to be a certain age, for some people it had been 70 and a half, then 72. Now it's if you're 73, you have to start taking distributions from your IRAs, 401ks, 403bs. The IRS makes you take some money out each year, right? So that's that required minimum distribution or RMD. And so I'm interested in hearing sort of where the questions have been coming from you. And I've certainly got some opinions, but how do you think about taking these RMDs when the market's been as choppy as it has here in 2025?
Yeah. So just so you know, I got this question from a reporter and from someone that I met on vacation, but not from any clients. So I'm happy about that.
Interesting.
So why do I not get any questions about this from clients? And that is because I'm going to give you my answer and then we're going to get into a lot more detail. I say take it from the interest earning of the bonds. So you don't even have to worry about selling the market. You should have things set up so that you got some money there for that is in a bond that's maturing that is earmarked for your cash for the year. And if you don't need it that year, then you just buy something else and keep it in the IRA. But that's how we do it. So I would say sell bonds. Then you don't have to really worry about the market that much.
Then you're not selling stocks when the stock market's down, right? Pretty
Right.
simple.
Exactly. But now you look at it differently and you've got a lot more nuanced answer. So let's go for a different answer on that.
I don't, I don't know that I look at it necessarily differently than you, but just from a bigger picture standpoint, my question is always, like what are we trying to accomplish here? And I know that it's, of course, we have to take these RMDs, but I sort of tend to look at it in two that we've got clients that are in this position, of course, and there's sort of two paths that they take. And the first path is that they're using their 401k or IRA money to live off of. And so they need two or four or $6,000 a month, whatever their number is. And so this RMD is sort of this thing over here like, oh, yeah, that's cute. We've got to make sure we get enough money out of your IRA, but we're actually taking out, as much or more from your living standpoint. And for us, that lands squarely where you're saying, like, listen, if you need money to live off of, we want to have it in fixed income in a bond ladder, probably of some sort. So we're not worried. We're not putting the RMDs first. We're saying, listen, what's our goal is we need cash flow and we need to have, and we use CDs and treasury strips. Right. And so we go, okay, if my RMD is $30,000 a year, but I'm actually taking out 4,000 a month or $48,000 to live off of, just by reaching my goals, I've accomplished that RMD. I don't have to think about it. Right. So that's one place where we have, and it goes exactly to your point. Well, then we're not selling in a down market because we're not selling stocks. We're living off the bonds just like we had planned to, sort of separate from IRAs. So for people that need the cash flow, it's just a financial planning question. And then let's make sure we get enough out of there to satisfy that RMD. And I would say probably half or more of our clients are in a position where they're not using money from their portfolio, or at least not a lot to live off of. And then for those folks, like, oh no, I've got to take a $30,000 out of my IRA for my RMD, but I don't need that. My pension, my Social Security, and my part-time job is all covering that, so I don't need that money. From that standpoint, we don't. I mean, we kind of joke in our office about, well, then don't sell anything. Well, what do you mean I have to take this money out in the RMD? But listen, if we've got XYZ mutual fund or stock or whatever it is in your IRA, Yep, we have to sell that, take it out, and then let's put it into your brokerage account and buy the exact same thing so that, tomorrow our allocation, our mix of stocks and bonds looks just like it does today. So we're not selling in a down market, we're just moving it from one tax bucket to another. So we've got those are the two ways. If you need cash, then it's driven by the financial planning. And if you don't, why not just leave it in the portfolio where it belongs, right? That sort of
Yeah,
thought
right.
process.
And
I'm
so,
yeah,
yeah, one thing you're saying is that you would transfer the money directly from your IRA into this brokerage account and then just buy the same thing.
right. It's a
And
taxable event. That's the minimum distribution, right? But why change the mix? We don't have to change the mix of things just because we have to
right.
move it around. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing is that sometimes people might get confused about the wash sale rules, but they wouldn't apply here because you're moving it from your IRA to your taxable account. You're not selling it in your taxable account.
That's right. That's right. I
Okay.
mean, a good thing, and this is a completely different topic, right? But sometimes we'll sell things and go, oh, we're going to take a tax loss here. Well, we can't just go and buy that same thing someplace else. Like in
Right.
other places, we can't just sell this in this account and buy that because it violates those wash sale rules. We have to be
Right.
careful, but this is one where it doesn't make any difference, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So then the last idea I have, like, let's say the ship has sailed on having bonds. You need the money for your cash flow. Okay. Then what do you do? All right. You can't go and buy bonds if you have it all in stocks anyway. That's going to defeat the purpose. So I would say you can dollar cost average selling. So let's say you need $30,000. So you can set up 3 dates that you have in your mind. And so you're not making decisions all the time. And you say, all right, I'm going to sell $10,000, take out 10,000 from my RMD today. I'm going to take 10,000 between at the halfway point between now and December, let's say 15th, because you want to make sure it's easy to get done. And then the last one at December 15th. So just set up some structure that you're going to you're just going to follow the structure and you're not going to sweat it on every different transaction. And at least the dollar cost averaging when you buy, it shows that it helps smooth out the volatility.
Yeah, no, I love that idea of dollar cost averaging. And as you said
Oh,
earlier, in a perfect world, you'd have a nice bond ladder set up. You'd have these
yeah,
things, but the world doesn't work perfectly, right? You go,
right,
okay, we don't have this. We can't do that thing we're talking, but I need the cash. And, it's pretty common. I think a lot of people understand or are aware of dollar cost
yeah,
averaging when making an investment. I'm going to put $500 a month into my 401k plan, right? And
right,
if the market goes up, I've got, little bits that have gone up with it. If the market goes down, I'm buying at cheaper prices in the future. And the exact same thing works in reverse. If we've
right,
got, a stock-based portfolio, we have to take money out rather than taking one lump sum out, right? That's the risk that you're hearing in that question is, what if I take this out and I happen to pull all that money out the day that the market's down 5%, right? Now I've
right.
lost all that money. You go, well, listen, take chunks out. You can take it in 3 chunks as you described, even in monthly chunks, right?
Right.
Have it set up
Whatever you
where it
want.
automatically does
Right,
this. And
right,
we've had some really good success with that, not necessarily from the minimum distribution standpoint, because as of course, like same like people that work with you is, what if you're a client, we're going to set it up so we've got those bonds at fixed
right,
income. We don't have to worry about this, right? But we've had folks that have, individual stock positions. Their company got sold, they inherited some. They're like, oh, what do I do about this from a tax standpoint? It was sell it all. Well, let's go out and in chunks sell it. And if the stock keeps on going up, great. I've got some of that I'm not going to sell for 6 months or a year that's going up. And if the stock takes a dive or this mutual fund takes a dive, then listen, we got some out right away, right? That dollar
right,
cost averaging is such a powerful thing. I will say the one thing that in our experience is having a plan and sticking to it,
right.
because something will happen and it'll be, oh, in today's world, new tariffs are added or taken away or this or that happens, right? You go like, well, maybe we should
The
wait until
Fed
next
makes an
month. Like,
announcement. I saw
stick to the
stagflation in
plan.
the headline, whatever. Yeah,
That's exactly right.
yeah,
Stick to the plan is what makes you successful and
right,
helps you from getting whipsawed on these things.
right,
Again, that's the question, right? Like, how do I know if I'm going to make a bad decision and time it incorrectly? Well, if you make the decision up front and stick to it, then you don't have to worry about the emotions taking over.
right. So with that, it's a great time to wrap up. I'm Bridget Sullivan Mermel. I've got a family financial planning practice in Chicago, Illinois.
And I'm John Shear. I've got a fee-only financial planning practice in Middleton, Wisconsin. And both Bridget and I are taking on new clients. We'd love to hear from you directly, but we're also both members of the Alliance of Comprehensive Planners. And if you like what you hear on our show and would like to find a planner who's local to your area, you can check out acplanners.org.
And don't forget to subscribe.